You know, I've walked through shit that would break the average man with a smile on my face. Sometimes God is loud. Sometimes he's not saying much. You're just holding on to what he's shown you. And those silent moments, I've learned to cherish the silence. I've walked through the silence long enough to know what it awakens. It was the silence that revealed my true voice. There was the darkness that God used to reveal my true strength. Painful as they are, it's the losses that God uses to reveal my true direction. I can't lie to you. Like the colonizer classroom clowns and the slave master seminary sellouts, there were nights when I sat with my own heartbeat, wondering, literally, why life felt heavier than it once did when I knew I was in shit I had nothing to do with. Wondering how is it that this commitment to doing what I feel as though God has purposed me to do caused so much and so many challenges in my life. Wondering, after hearing God's voice clearly and distinctively, if my prayers were now falling on still air. I've been there. I learned something in those nights, though. That when God got you and he refuses to really let you loose, he allows life to strip you to the bone. Y'all remember Job? Satan just bebopping. God, like, what's up with you, my boy? You know me, just causing havoc in the world. God actually picked Job. Yo, you ever think of my man Job? Yo, Satan wasn't even thinking about Job until God put him up. You want to fuck with some shit? Fuck with my boy K. Him right there. That one. Yo, right there. Not to destroy him, but to remove everything that's not truly him. I had to be broken. I had to be refined. I have to be disciplined. I've been called. I've been a prophet since a baby, but I needed to be prophetically pushed. I needed to be thrown in the furnace so I could be shaped by the fire. I saw in the sacred scroll, 2 Timothy 2nd chapter, the 3rd verse, that we have to endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. But I didn't understand that the hardship wasn't punishment. I just thought we just got to deal with this shit because that's how we set it up. I didn't have the prophetic perspective that the hardship is actually God's formation. I had to go through some things in attempting to understand my own dreams when I had to go to Joseph and ask, hey, my boy, how did you hold on to the dream God gave you when your brothers sold you the fuck out? When you thought them niggas was going to ride for the vision God gave you and you put them niggas on game and they sold you the fuck out in a pit, how you ain't air them out, my nigga? How did you, after that, right, when they sold you into slavery, when you locked up behind the wall, right, or before that, when you in slavery and your integrity makes you number one in the joint, and little bougie, little non-biblical bitch trying to throw you the schmannies, and you tell her, keep all that, shorty, I'm on purpose, I ain't no pleasure. And then she lie on you when you end up getting booked. Then you put the two niggas on in the can, and after you put them on, they sell you the fuck out. How did you hold on to your dream? Joseph, like, yo, My pop put me on Jacob. He told me after he got the blessing, after he got the birthright, when he was on his way, he had this dream, and God told him, you know, mama and them was coming up and down the ladder, you know, the angels descending. When the Bible says you entertain certain people, you entertain angels. He talking about black mamas. He's like, you know, the angels were descending, and God spoke to my pop Jacob himself and was like, yo, I got your back. I'm on your side. Just like I was with your father and your grandfather, I'm going to be with you. He was like, my pop was like, yo, he knew God was talking. He poured the oil, he worshiped, but then he had a word of doubt, if, and it was like, it wasn't that he doubted God, it doubted that God could use him. And then he went off and wasted 20 years. He seen my mama, Rachel, she was coke bottle fine, put 7 years in for her, put 7 years in for Leah, then went through some shit with my grandpa Laban. That was 20 years. So my pop told me when God gave me the dream to hold on to it. And see, it's a lot of lessons woven in there, but you gotta not miss the part that you know, when when Joseph was being formed, part of God's plan, you know, his ways above our ways, his thoughts above our thoughts, was to throw that nigga in the pit. David, anointed king, not yet appointed king, step up, take Goliath out for the fake fugazi Saul, and because you don't take a position, next thing you know, he being hunted. Moses, called and exiled. Peter, loved and broken. Christ, baptized in the Jordan, sent into the wilderness to do battle. God doesn't choose strong men. He makes men strong by choosing them. And I didn't really understand that. I had to learn that. And I'm now able to see that I've been walking in that same divine pattern. See, a man who cannot discipline his spirit, the Bible says is like a city without walls. Ladies, you got to excuse us. Nobody giving us these lessons. The colonizer classroom and the slave master seminary, they catering to y'all. They're not teaching us this. And so what thou seest, thou becometh. Luckily for me, I had, you know, iconic men of God and that poured into me. When everybody was running from the inner city, my spiritual pop was running to it. Everybody was running from my urban inner city youth. He was running to them. Leon Howard Sullivan, William Herbert Gray, Joseph Lawrence Roberts. Like that's what I learned. But each and every single one of them had to go through their own journey. So when y'all see me in the midst of whatever this is, let me embrace my journey. Just know I'm not like them. Like when I'm talking and God is using me, if you notice, ain't no big luxurious backgrounds. Y'all doing that for your blogs. Y'all putting up all this fake shit, right? No, I'm in the slums right now. Like, ain't no fancy clothes. Ain't no drip. Ain't no none of that. Because I don't want any of the urban youth being inspired by me to think it's because of the drip. I don't want them to think it's because of the backdrop. I don't want them to think it's because of the car. No, it's because of the hand of God in my life. Nor do I want them to think that when they begin to embrace becoming who God shows them they are, amidst whatever circumstance, situation they are presently dealing with it, that they need any of that stuff. No, you need a commitment to Christ. I learned the hard way. And I recognize the assignment on my life to be used by him. Mama Grace would always say that it's never for you, King. It's always for the generations after you. So in my generation, we got a whole lot of fake shit that done bowed down to the colonizer coin. What Jesus say? Render the Caesars with Caesars and the God was God. So I'm going to get God the glory for my story, period. I'm be transparent, period. Ministry costs money. Like we talk about, you know, the fact that we took the biggest dope corner in North Philadelphia, 627 West Clearfield, and turned it into the sanctuary for the prison ministry that we took behind the walls in 2007. We did it in 2012, busting at the seams now. You know what it's about now? Birthing more ministries. We ain't got no budget. We ain't got no grants. All that shit been, so, yo, listen. Kay, why you ain't cut your hair? I had to give that shit up. When it came time to launch Atlanta, really get in the trenches, after I came back and walked the folk up in Ebenezer, the commitment I made to our youth and the community, what? That shit costs. So we got to sacrifice some shit. So if you can't get over me finally being able to grow my hair the fuck out, then I ain't talking to you. Jesus said, my sheep know my voice. You're not my sheep, then I'm not fucking talking to you. Turn the channel. It's the internet. It's a whole bunch of people talking about nothing. You ain't got to be tapped in over here. But I'm going to teach my youth how to deal with the spiritual friggin' warfare that they subjected to by giving them an example. My youth don't want to be colonizer classroom choir boys. they definitely want to know what it means to be a believing soldier. And so you don't learn this in the colonizer's building, in the slave master seminary. Even though they know it, they ain't teaching you. Yeah, I had to learn the hard way that without discipline, I would be driven by impulse. That's what most urban men are. Driven by impulse, driven by pride. You don't want to admit it, but you're really driven by fear, driven by laziness, driven by anger, driven by old wounds. So I slowly began to embrace the process. I didn't rush the process. I trusted the process and the work. I had to confront the habits that were weakening me. I faced the thoughts that were sabotaging me. I challenged the emotions that misled me. Acknowledged the wounds that I once denied. We've been having mamas of sin for 20 years. You know what I realized? I lied to myself. I got so caught up in continuing their work that I felt like they were still here because we kept their work alive. Then when we got down to the last two, it really hit me because I realized when we got to the last one, I felt all of them at once. Damn, we ain't got no mamas left. I had to acknowledge that shit because it hurt. I used to deny it. I had to dismantle lies that I once lived under. I'm not KJ. Kenneth Jerome is. Little man is. Uptown Philly's king. I'm KK. King Kev. Well, I'm KingJerlo. Well, fuck it. I guess I am KJ. You know, that like that though. And that transformation didn't begin with a grand victory. It began by small little battles fought when nobody was watching. And those slow victories are what allowed me to realize that discipline really wasn't punishment. It became protection. Silence stopped being emptiness. It became clarity. You got to be uncomfortable until uncomfortable becomes comfortable. So I realized discomfort stopped being suffering. It really became training. God didn't fight my battles for me. He fought them with me. He trained me through these spiritual weapons and spiritual warfare. He didn't remove the temptation. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I be drooling over them just like the rest of them. Good God, if just your spirit was right, I would. But you know what he did? He strengthened my restraint. He didn't silence my fear. He deepened my courage. He didn't cancel the struggle. He cultivated the endurance. Because it was in the stillness that I was able to separate truth from illusion. And reflection is when I was able to reclaim vision. And discernment became my shield. Stillness became my sword. I stopped blaming circumstances and situations, and I embraced radical responsibility. I realized if I did not master myself, I was going to be mastered by the world. So I stopped asking, why is this happening to me? And I start asking, what is it that you're forming in me? And that question, for me, changed the game. That's when I start surrendering. And those that know me, that ain't easy. But it was through that surrendering that my timing became God's timing. I submitted my strength to his will. And I learned that what I thought was weakness really wasn't. Because in my weakness was when I was able to grow in his strength. You know, that period was, some would say, my greatest weakness, but to me it was my highest strength. Because, you know, amongst these things, forget the Bentley, the Beamer, and Benz. Get this understanding. And I realized in that moment what I was really standing under. The real power of the anointed authority. See, I realized some stuff. I realized, I thought, I'm going to be real with you, I thought, coming from where I came from, right? Like, it was always about, Biggie talked about it, our adolescent development in the early 90s, growing up in New York City projects. He said, you know, it's hard being young from the slums, eating 5-cent gums, not knowing where your meal coming from. You know, gun shops going over the jungle gym, pissy staircases, Hope you don't live in the first floor by the fucking the incinerator. You got, rats the size of your big wheel trying to come through your bedroom window at night. You know what I mean? And he said, it's not a lack of morality. It's really about escape. He said it's and in our finite understanding, the options we're given. The game of the game. Biggie said it's hard being young from the slums, eating 5-cent gums, I know where your meal coming from. Either you slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. That's it. The game of the game. So I had to learn, no, that was perpetuated by the colonizer to manipulate us away from our prophetic purpose. And, the call on our lives, the purpose on our lives, the assignment on our lives, the grace of God on our lives is irrevocable. Satan can't stop it. He can just try to distract us with little things where we end up destroying ourselves. And when God allowed me to put that into perspective, and he allowed me, like Mama and them used to say it, and I ain't really understand what it meant, but then when I understood how to put it into perspective, the shift took place, right? Mama used to say, listen, if the Lord never does anything else, he's already done enough. And I'm like, but yo, you still need a house, you still need a car. What the frick is you talking about? And I learned. I didn't always know. I learned, and I'm still learning. It's imperative to be a lifelong learner, right? I learned that, I don't really need no miracles. I done already lived through a bunch of them. Like God done brought me through some shit that y'all don't even want to know. You don't really want to know. You don't. You can't handle it. The truth, you can't handle it. And I realized all those are miracles. So don't give me no more miracles. Just give me memory of all this shit you done already brought me through. Because Mama and them said it, I know you ain't bring me this far to leave me. So I realized it's not me. It's not my power that's doing this shit. I promise you. I promise you. It's God. And when a man understands, when he comes to learn that he's being upheld by God, he realized that nothing beneath God can defeat what God is doing through him and to him. I learned that, and that is what fueled my development of the sacred art of saying no. A lot of folks is like, hey, you just mean. I oftentimes teach it light because y'all just want to know about the money, right? So I teach it from this Think and Grow Rich standpoint, study the top 500 most successful, powerful, influential people in the world. 13 things they have in common. I'm always talking to y'all about persistence. Ninth principle, second paragraph, second sentence. Men who accumulate great fortunes are typically known as ruthless and cold-blooded. However, they're misunderstood. What they have is persistence mixed with willpower, paced black of their desires to ensure the attainment of their objectives. A lot of y'all like, Kate, we know you got a heart. We know you're committed to God. But you so mean. No, I'm not. I'm just persistent. No, I'm not. God just let me know, girl, you sexy as shit. And I know you do magic tricks. You make the whole thing disappear. Put your nose on my belly button. I know. And I'm going to have fun. But I got a couple chapters I'm trying to get through because the Lord showed me some shit. I've grown. I realized I no longer want to please a million women. I just want to please one woman a million ways. So I really can't, It's the reason God creates us he says, without a vision, people perish. Because when you have a vision for your life, you have a vision beyond a circumstance or situation, then, that vision, he say, write it down. Because what's the goal? Or what's the difference between a goal and a dream? The dream ain't written down. The goal is. So when God gives me the vision, then I write it down. Then when I got this big goal, then I'm going to write down some little goals in order to accomplish the big goal. Then I'm going to write what I need to accomplish in order to knock out the big goals. Then I'm going to start ranking them and level of impact toward the ultimate goal. Now I'm working on something. A lot of people ain't been, you know what I mean? If somebody call me, they like, yo, what's up? K, what you doing? My first question is, why? Because if you asking me to do what I'm doing, you probably going to ask me to do something. And most people like, what you doing? Nothing. You know why? Because you ain't doing nothing. So you know, all right, well, let's go do this. Let's go do that. I hold on. What you doing? Why? Because I know if you ask me what I'm doing, you about to ask me to do something, and I need to have something to be able to determine if what you're asking me to do is going to contribute or taken away from the vision that God has given me. So that vision for me and God and who he's creating me to be, that's what gives me the discipline. It gives me priority. It gives me purpose. All these things are interconnected. And a colonizer classroom and the slave master seminary, they not giving you this. But when it clicked for me, oh, now I can say no. Shorty, nasty as hell. Nah, shorty, I'm working on something. Yo, we about to get lit. All right, I did that already. I'm working on something. Yo, we got the whole section, my boy. Just come on through. Everything on me. Don't even worry about it. I did that already. But it's some things that God got for me to do that y'all ain't did yet. It's some places on the planet with some food I ain't never taste. And a language I ain't never heard. And some women I ain't never seen. I want to see that. So when this click happens, as it happened for me, that's when I was empowered to say no. It's when I embraced what I oftentimes teach, the sacred art of saying no. No to the distractions. No to the diluted relationships. No to the habits that fractured my clarity on what God is doing to and through me. No to environments that weaken my conviction. Like, yo, we gonna be kicking it. All right, cool. What y'all focused on? No, nothing. We just getting together. So why the fuck do you think I'm coming? Like no, just like we used to. We used to do that. What we doing now? Because the world is changing and we can't do what we used to do. It's not out of bitterness. It's out of obedience. And every man must travel his own road. But Paul says something. He said, when I was a boy, I acted like a boy. I thought like a boy. I spoke like a boy. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. See, he don't miss it. This leads us to understand that manhood isn't achieved by age, height, shoe size, weight. You could be a 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 5 foot, 9 foot, 100 pound, 300 pound, you know what I mean? Size 2, size 35, you know what I mean? Man or overgrown baby boy and still not understand what the fuck it means to really be a man, right? Because it's not until you really put away all the childish shit and embrace what we talking about that you really understand what a real kingdom sense of masculinity is. And every man has to travel his own road, but not every man acknowledges and rises toward this conscious light. And when we begin to, as men, we go through a process of pruning. And that pruning isn't punishment. It's preparation by God to bear more fruit. And the discipline is just a devotion. That's what it became for me. Yeah. When you read the Believing Soldier's Spiritual Weapons, it's grounded in Mark 1:35, early in the morning, right? We go in before we get going. We get, Lord have mercy. Early in the morning, we go in before we go out. We fill up before we go en route. We love God before we love neighbor. I wake up early not to prove something to anybody. I wake up early because I want to hear from God. I'm training my body not for vanity, not so I got these big ass muscles. I'm training my body for movement. I'm training my body for self-mastery. I'm studying the sacred scroll, not for ego, so I can edge God out. I want clarity on the assignment he placed on my life. I'm not working for performance. This ain't about, you clapping for me. Most of the time, I'm not asking you to clap for me. I'm working based on stewardship. He's entrusted me to some shit. And I don't know about you, but we all get the same job, paycheck at the end of the day. Well done. You don't hear well done unless you do what you're supposed to do. So no, these aren't habits. These are offerings. And a disciple life, it's my declaration. You see me now, you don't know where the fuck I came from. You have no fucking idea what the fuck I've been through. You don't have a clue. You also have no idea what I'm chasing. Not a clue. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Between me and him. So the disciple life that he's using me to demonstrate to this believing soldier battalion that he's growing on a worldwide level now, it's about a declaration and a commitment to become what he's conforming me into, his son. So I'm going to show up so he can shape me. I'm going to show up so he can use me. I'm going to show up every single day so he can strengthen me, because God honors consistency. He honors order. God honors the man who proves he can be trusted with faithfulness if I can't be trusted with nothing else. And discipleship is it's leading me from my past, and it's turning me into the future he planned for me before he formed me in my mama's womb. And I'm gonna be real with you. Without it, without these spiritual weapons, I would repeat cycles. I'd be fucking shit up right now. All these little homiletical, hypocritical bitch niggas behind our father's desk, I'd have been doing a whole lot more than punching them pussies in the pulpit with these prophetic pericopes. I'd have repeated some old cycles. You know, I choked the shit out of Raphael Gamaliel Warnock's first youth minister, Wilbur Weasel Willis. When he grabbed a little boy butt cheeks, I pulled right the fuck up Emory, knocked on his door. He opened the door, I choked him the fuck out. By the time he woke up, I had a thumb drive plugged up to his laptop, and he had a bunch of boy porn on it. And listen, the relationship you got with another human being is none of my fucking business. The only relationship I care about you having is the relationship with God. So, you know, it's Adam and Eve. It ain't Adam and Steve, in my opinion. But it wasn't man to man. It was man to little boy. And you over there fucking with my little boys. Hey, homie, I ever catch you around some little boys, I'm break both of your motherfucking legs. Hey, get over it. Statute of limitation, been gone. Seen that whole ass nigga take off, and then Warnock hired a bison, didn't you? That was the only black man he had that really did some fucking youth work. Shout out to King Mikey. And he's still in the trenches. He a fucking a teacher up there in New York. You know, and them house niggas. But A2, you already the fuck know. So I'm going to tell you, without the discipline, I would have repeated cycles. But with it, God has used me to break generational patterns. Oh, shit happens. Get over it. Every disciplined act that you see me participate in, it declares something. That this cycle ends with me. You see me forcing Warnock and forcing the National Park Service and all them other motherfuckers to deal with their illegal policies and fucking procedures. And the way they got these New Jack motherfuckers coming into the old 4th Ward, coming to our fucking Atlanta, manipulating their little gray area and fucking locking our boys up. Why the fuck you think I'm taking all the shots? Did you not know what I've been teaching you that my spiritual mama gave me? Amazing grace. I'm the lightning rod. You know, Paul told Timothy, stir up the gift. Right? What gift? The gift that the mamas had when they lay hands on your ass as a baby. That gift? You want me to stir that one up? Oh boy, I don't think they ready for that one. Praise break, 1s and 2s. Cosmic, Strictly Skills, Kev. No, that's Kevin Lee. KingJerlo. Oh, what a day. Mamas be like, you better raise them boys. Raise them kids, man. Yeah. I wish heaven had visiting hours. I want to ask how they knew. So every discipline action, it declares and it decrees. The cycle ends with me. Discipline transforms time. It multiplies progress. It compounds character. It stabilizes emotion. Community or chaos? That was the question. Well, discipline structures chaos and delivers community. My emotions no longer dictate my life. My disciplined decisions do. The doors of envy close. The doors of anger close. The doors of laziness close. The doors of pride close. The disciple man becomes difficult to dethrone. Why? Because a man upheld by God cannot be defeated by anything beneath God. I'm here now. I had to become intentional about every hour that the Lord allowed me to live. After I damn near died during the 2020 presidential election, pulled over by the Philadelphia police, extracted by my fucking vehicle, shot up with tasers, illegally held for 6 days. A situation like that make you start reflecting on life. I became intentional about every fucking day. Every relationship I entertained. Every thought I allowed. Every battle I chose to fight. Cause a man without vision, you just going in circles. Oh, round and around you go. Where you going? You have no idea. But you transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what I needed. That's what took place. So we're not walking in circles. We're purposefully pursuing the vision that God has shown us. We're walking in destiny. And my transformation, you might physically see some effects of it, but it's sacred and spiritual. I sense God a lot more deeply. I recognize evil and spirits a lot more quickly. I discern motives much more clearly. And I've grown in restraint and moral clarity astronomically. Now don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. I'm not perfect, but I'm being prophetically purified. I'm not flawless, but I'm focused. And I'm walking with a new weight, walking with a new sense of authority, walking with a new level of divine direction. In this, you see me. I'm in the same place, but I'm in a totally different dimension. I was never meant to be ordinary. Not because I'm superior, but because I was entrusted with the weight of our heritage. The fire that burns in me is not ambition. It's apostolic assignment. It whispers in the quiet. And it refuses to let me drift. I rise not in anger, not in haste, not in pride. I rise in clarity. I rise in strength. I rise in obedience. I'm being used by the Father to spark something in you. Can you feel it? My disciplines speak to my disciples. John the Baptist had disciples. Socrates had disciples. Aristotle had disciples. Demystify it. Disciples are just students. My disciplines speak louder to my students than my words. Leadership 101. People do 10% of what you say and 90% of what they see you doing. I don't explain myself to the noise of the world. I stand in silence and alignment. Show y'all something. My journals, over 10 years old. Let me show y'all. Be real with it. A lot of folk, they're giving y'all the forgets, and be real with it. It's right here. It's right here. It was one of the most powerful joys I had. Look, you see it? Look. I'm not telling you I understood. I didn't. It's right here. Y'all see it? I believe that unless I believe, I won't understand. I do not seek to understand, so I believe. I believe so I can understand. Look. Let me give y'all some dates. What's in here? This 2017. Y'all remember December? We went to the Holy Land trip. We was going to a lot of Holy Land trips. We was getting around. September, we went to, the Passion Play in October. We was all in the Holy Land 2017. And so in the beginning of that, right? I didn't know. I didn't believe that unless I believe I won't understand. I do not seek to understand, so I believe. I believe so I can understand. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? I got to update. How many of y'all want to update? Can you handle it? I understand now. You want to know what I understand? Calling without discipline collapses. Look at the colonizer classroom clown. Look at the slave master seminary sellouts. I ain't even got to call their names. You know. They slid in 2005. Look at them now. Look at them. I know, right? Disheartening, isn't it? It's it's reflective of the fact that calling without discipline collapses. Talent, it's a dime a dozen. It's a lot of talented people. Will Smith, Philly GOAT, West Philly stand up. He said it best. Listen, if you and me get on a treadmill side by side, either you gonna get off or I'm gonna die. That's a strong statement. It's the difference between talent and skill. Talent, that's one thing. Skill is hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of pounding on your craft. A nigga's talented, but they ain't got this skill. Talent, without the disciplined development of the skill, it equates to corruption. Without discipline, it destabilizes you. Discipline. Root word of disciple. Jesus never said, if you want to be my Christian, you identify as a Christian, I love you. He never said, if you want to be my Muslim, you identify as mu'min, assalamu alaikum, you know I love you. He never said, if you want to be my Jew, if you identify as a Jew, I love you. I think it's not going to Kanye me. He said, if you want to be my disciple, root word of disciple, discipline. It's levels to this. Discipline is not for you. It's not for you. It's for me. And when you look at the disciplines that you commit to in your life, it's not for them. It's not for them. It's for you. Discipline is how you protect what God entrusted to you. Weak men, they drift. Disciplined men, we guard. The assignment on my life, the anointing on my life, the prophetic positioning on my life is not protected by my gift. It's protected by my governance. You got to learn what it means to understand I'm a vessel. So are you. My strength is not for pride. My knowledge is not for arrogance. It's for the apostolic. My courage is not for display. My discipline is not for applause. It's for purpose. It's for God. It's for those that have been assigned to learn from my life. As God get glory from the story. My life is not about me. I'm one of the most selfless motherfuckers you ever gonna meet. Regardless of what, my haters say. But shit, Jesus loved his haters so much he died for him. So, whatever. Your opinion to me is none of my fucking business. Reputation, my reputation don't mean shit to me. All right? It has nothing to do with my character. And my life is not mine alone. It's a torch. It's a signal. It's a steady light in dark places. I'm not seeking to be liked, nor am I seeking to be popular. I'm seeking to be potent. Kings don't live a life to be well known. Fuck, I care about being well known. I care about being well used. I'm seeking to be aligned. And, I now know what I didn't. That the fact that God's hand is wrapped around me, it doesn't mean it's easy. It really means the opposite. It means not that I won't go through stuff. It's just like Job, that God picked me to go through it. Why? So we can get glory from the story. What Job tell y'all? Naked came I into the world, naked will I shall I return. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. We lost those examples. Just God's example. It doesn't mean I don't stumble. It don't mean I don't fall. It means I'm a practical example of what our mom is taught. No matter what, keep coming back to the throne of God. Even when these new colonizer clown ass niggas lock the door. Even when these satanic slave master sellouts, right? Lock the doors. Keep coming back. Keep fighting back. Not for you. It's never about you, little king. It's always about the ones coming up after you. So it means I'm going to keep returning again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Why? Because Covenant keeps calling me back. Her boo-boo and her daddy said, till you found something you want to die for, you really hadn't figured out what it means to live. Said silence in certain pivotal moments is betrayal. Said in the end, it's not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends that matter. And what can I say? The apostolic anointing and alignment anchors me. So I stand with fire in my spirit, clarity in my mind, holiness in my heart. I walk with the discipline of a believing soldier, but don't forget that God reserves his hardest battles for his strongest warriors. So I am and walk with the discipline of a kingdom warrior. I carry the vision of God's warrior prophet. I bear the weight of purpose and humility. Just don't take my meekness for weakness, because I will not drift. I do not surrender my soul to weakness. I don't negotiate with impulse. I rise, not because I'm invincible, but because I'm aligned. I'm amazing grace's lightning rod. The lightning rod doesn't cause the storm, it just absorbs the power of the storm and redirects it. So I rise not because the storm's not gonna come, but because my foundation is eternal. This isn't what they got, sermonically shallow. This is sacred truth. God told me 5, 6 years ago, I had you preaching as a kid. I don't want you to become a preacher. I don't want you to preach the word. I want you to become evidence of the word. I'm the last son of the Heritage Sanctuary. I'm the last son of the original Ebenezer Covenant. And God got his hand on me, and I'm not going to waste the shaping. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to bite my tongue. I'm putting it right out here for you and all of us to learn from. Me too. I'm not going to waste the fire. I'm not going to waste the calling, the covenant. I'm not. I'm going to rise, not for glory, but for God to get glory from the story. I'm out of obedience. I'm going to keep walking forward. Steady, disciplined, aligned as a believing soldier. Forged in silence, sharpened in trial, and upheld by the hand of God upon me. And whatever the fuck y'all see me going through, give him glory. Because at the end of the day, he's getting glory from the story. Got to endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No soldier is concerned with the affairs of his life so he can please him who enrolled him, enlisted him as a soldier. Not in front of the kids though. I love y'all almost as much as the Father. On behalf of the Father, have an amazing day on purpose. Never forget, the Father made each and every single one of you amazing on purpose.